And welcome back to the Wicked Good Golf Show. Along with me and Balmer, we have Jeremy Frisch from Achieve Performance Athletic as part of a 4-part series. He's going to join us in 4 shows, and we're going to talk about fitness, golf fitness, how to be really the best on the golf course when you're out there. And part of that's not only the swing that we give you with the golf tips, but it's also really about being in the best possible condition to be able to take advantage of that. Balmer, I know, and you probably know, 9 holes, 18 holes, 7, 8, and 9, if you're not in condition, you can wind up losing strokes just because you're not really fit enough to play.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
So we're going to talk with Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome into the show.
Thanks.
And thanks for being part of our golf fitness series here on the Wicked Good Golf Show. So let's talk about, somebody comes in. I'm a golfer,
sure,
and I'm coming in, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for the golf season. How do I go about doing it? How do you get them ready?
Well, I guess when someone comes in, we don't really worry about what sport they're playing, because I don't profess to know anything about the swing or anything like that. I kind of look at a human being, right? And we all kind of move the same way.
Sure.
So when someone comes in, we're just going to look at some basic movements that all human beings do, and
right.
It just gives us a kind of a snapshot of how they move.
Okay.
And if, say, we see some things that they don't, say they don't move as well as we want them to, we see some things, you might see a tight shoulder or, tight hip or something like that. If we can fix those issues, right, the idea is once those issues kind of are taken care of,
right.
when they go out and do their skill work with the sport,
right.
it'll be that much better. So it doesn't matter if you're swinging a club or if we have like a football player in who's, having trouble sprinting.
Right.
We're going to look at kind of the way they move really slowly, too, because I can't see. So if you were swinging a golf club,
yep.
It's too fast for my eye to see any issues with flexibility or strength. It's just, I can't see it. So we'd have to either slow it down with a camera, or we could take him into the gym and do some basic movements, and it'll give us an idea of where he's at.
Okay.
So that's, for me, that's how I do it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what sport you're playing, but we just basically take them, do a couple of movements, and it just gives us a snapshot of kind of where they're at, and it gives us a starting point.
Okay.
You might have ways to go. Some guys have lots to do. Other guys,
and I would imagine it does depend on the age.
Their age,
of the individual.
Injury history. We got guys coming in that had back surgery. Guy might have blew out his knee playing baseball years ago. It doesn't matter. Another guy might be, he hasn't worked out that much, so he might be overweight. There's a lot of issues. So you're going to work your way back.
We might be sumo wrestlers.
You might be sumo wrestlers.
Right,
there's lots of issues. So you're just going to basically get an idea, talk to them, ask them questions, and then from there you start doing basically, we call it an assessment or a screen.
I had a study done on me years ago on flexibility.
Yep.
And so parts of flexibility, weight training.
Sure.
And then cardio.
Yep.
Those are pretty much the 3, right?
Sure.
And the stretching got me 8 miles per hour more club head speed. Just the stretching alone.
Sure.
Just the stretching alone. But more importantly, when I was done with this little test they did on me, as you related to, I felt better, just never mind my golf game.
Of course.
I just felt better. You get out of bed, you feel like better. So
sure.
You're
right. I mean, once let's say you had some type of limitation in your shoulder, right? And then once you took care of that issue, now you can get into the positions you need to get into more efficiently. And then that alone in itself should make your swing more efficient.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so if somebody comes to you, you've done that assessment, right?
Sure.
Now get into some of the things that you might do with them, probably from a stretching standpoint first, right? You wouldn't even touch a weight, you wouldn't even do any of that stuff until you were confident that they could do some of those things in movements, right?
Realize too, like some of the stuff we do, like when someone comes in, even some of the big strong football guys that come in, sometimes they're so tight, because they do all this, heavy benching and things like that. But so there's a lot of similarities between sports.
Right.
We might just not let them touch weights either until we can make sure they move well. So if a guy comes in, he's a golfer. My brother, he's a big golfer. He comes in, he comes in my facility when he can. And the first thing we work on, is range of motion. But at the same time, we actually do a lot of exercises that kind of do both. They work flexibility and strength at the same time.
All right, so let's do some exercises.
Real simple
let's
exercises.
Go through some of the exercises.
Real simple exercises.
Come right up to
you guys have heard of a lunge.
3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
A lunge.
Yes.
Right. So this is a great exercise because you're gonna basically challenge the whole infrastructure of your hips, core, things like that, right? So when we have our athletes come and do, it doesn't matter who you are, we get in this split position, okay? And the idea is we want to be in a perfect biomechanical position. So I want my knee over my ankle, my back foot's back, and my body's nice and tall, okay? And we're going to just sink them down, and I'm going to ask them to hold it there for just, maybe
With
10
the knee
seconds.
off the ground.
Knees off the ground.
Can you
okay?
do that?
And we'll see guys, I'll tell you right now what's going to happen. Some guys do this, right?
Fall down.
They start falling forward, they start shaking,
Right.
and that gives me a snapshot of where they're at. But that's an exercise we do too. I'll say, all right, do it 10 times, right? So down, pause, up, okay? And right there, we're improving the range of motion of the hip. We're improving the
Flexor,
strength of the glute in the back,
Right.
the hamstrings.
Yeah.
And you guys think about swinging, right? All power. You guys were talking about baseball swing earlier, golf swing.
Right.
Take those away. I'll put a shot put in someone's hands. What do you see? Same thing.
Same thing.
Right? That
That
strength,
core, right.
core, hip, glute, all that stuff.
Because I do have a problem with this hip.
Sure.
And that would be something that I would look on in terms of strengthening that hip.
And say you had pain there.
Right.
So instead of having your back knee off the ground,
Yeah.
I'd say, Steve, just get on one knee. And I
Right.
want you to just squeeze those muscles, right here and right here. I want you to just sit here and squeeze these muscles for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you'll feel the stretch. You'll feel the burn in your butt. You feel your abs really having to work to stabilize. And this is a fantastic exercise to start off. If someone
Now,
had a hip issue.
if I'm doing this, can I do this every day?
Every day. You
Every
should.
day?
So strength is like a skill.
Right.
So just like you swing in a golf club, strength is a skill. You should practice it every day to get really good at it.
So hopefully, they take that. We got 1 minute left.
Sure.
Before. So that's one thing that they can do.
So that's a great one for the lower body.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Another one for the upper body. We don't have a wall, but I'll just make believe there's a wall right
Yeah.
here. And so
Yeah.
you're going to put your arms and fingers against the wall.
Yeah.
And so my arms make a W right now. Come up to a Y. All the way down. So you're pushing your elbows and fingers into the wall.
So the wall is here.
Yep.
Right.
And I'm pushing as hard as I can, all the way up, all the way down. And that'll light your back up. So many of us type and text and we got poor posture.
That's a good one. I've never seen
right?
that one. That's awesome.
So
yeah.
you're just going to really push into the wall and slide up, and now you're going to strengthen all those muscles in the upper back.
All right. That's a great
Okay,
thing.
so
So those
it's a
two
good one.
things for the lower body and the upper body, and then everybody can do this at home.
Everybody do this at home. Golfers, you name it. I mean, people who work at like a desk all day and a computer, great for those people too.
Well, we want to make sure that you guys are able to let us know how you can do this. I want you to do these exercises. Let us know. You can give us a call on our radio show, or you can check us out on Facebook. We'll put this up on Facebook, and people can see how they can do this. I tell you what, it's a great opportunity for you to be here in a
Thank
four-part series. This is part one. We got to get out of here, Bomber. Time goes by. All right, we'll be back next week with more Wicked Good Golf Show. Remember, as always, keep hitting them straight.